Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn series with the Center for Business Analysis. We have just 1 minute to begin. I would like to use that 1 minute to wait for others to join us. My name is Miriam Kwanzaa, and I am your host for today. So please give us just 1 minute. Thank you. Welcome once again, everyone, to our Lunch and Learn series with the Center for Business Analysis. And our webinar today is on AI transformation in data analytics. And we are thrilled to have you join us today. A little overview of the Center for Business Analysis, so that if you are new here, you know who we are and what we do. The Center for Business Analysis is a professional certification body that specializes in providing data analytics, business analysis, and cybersecurity. We also have short courses in AI for data analytics, HR in data analytics with Excel and Power BI, and SQL for data analytics. My name is Miriam Kwanzaa. I'm the Programs Administrator for the Center for Business Analysis and your host for today. So moving on, I'm going to introduce our esteemed speaker, who is in the person of Bright Osei Badu, and he's a business and data strategist with over 10 years experience in analytics, business intelligence, and monitoring and evaluation. Today we'll be hearing a lot from him, and I'm also giving a little insight or a little profile of him. So Bright Osei Badu has delivered data-driven solutions for organizations including Deloitte, Diego PLC, which is Guinness Ghana, Solitarian Network, Ghana Revenue Authority, and Temalube Oil. Currently, the research and development lead are the implementers. He provides insights that drives programs design, donor engagement, and policy advocacy, and also holds advanced qualification in business data analytics, PMP, BIDA, and Google Data Analytics. Once again, I invite you to our webinar on AI transformation in data analytics. And our speaker, Bright Osei Badu, is here with us today. He's going to tell us a bit more about how AI is transforming our sectors and our data. And so thank you for joining us. And Bright, if you are on, over to you.
Thank you very much, Miriam, and good afternoon to everyone. I hope I'm audible. Okay. So Miriam, thank you for having me. And as you said, today I'm going to present on artificial intelligence transformation in data analytics. So let me just quickly share my screen. Okay. Please, can you see my screen?
We can see your screen, please.
Okay. All right. So as I said, today I'm presenting on artificial intelligence transformation in data analytics. And with our work as data analysts, the field is being reshaped by the rapid rise of artificial intelligence. Now the introduction of artificial intelligence is enhancing our work. What used to be done in several weeks is now being done with seconds with just a natural language. Natural language means just writing a simple text or a simple form of language in English, and artificial intelligence are able to execute and bring you the output of that. So AI is not just improving our work as data analysts, it's also enhancing human analytical limits. What used to be done in weeks or months is now being done in seconds. In terms of growth, in 2025, AI was being estimated, the AI market was estimated to be 4.5 billion. But another report which also emerged that the amount is expected to rise to about 16.5 billion by 2030. So you can see that the market is rapidly expanding, that everyone needs to be involved and no one needs to be left behind. Also, there's a reference, a white paper that was issued by MasterCard Foundation, and it's called, you can find time and read on it. It's called Harnessing the Transformative Power of Artificial Intelligence in Africa. And you realize that from that document, it gives the projected cost and also the projection of 27% annual growth in Africa in terms of artificial intelligence. So the market is rapidly expanding, that we all need to be involved. So today, what we are going to discuss about is the AI adoption, which is already happening in Ghana with regard to Ghana or the Ghanaian scope. Why this matters in data analytics, or why AI matters in our work as data analytics. The why transformation of data analytics, what AI still cannot do, the limitations of artificial intelligence, what it cannot do. We will talk about it. The real AI application emerging in Ghana. What are some of the organizations that are currently using AI to enhance their work? The hidden risk analysts really discuss. So what are some of the areas that we as analysts we don't much talk about it? All those areas, most especially the automation biases, we are going to discuss it as part of the presentation. Then another emerging risk, data governance. You also talk about it as well. Then most importantly, the ethical use of AI, the do's and the don'ts of AI, and what are some of the skills gap. Although AI is enhancing our work, but what are some of the skills that feel and thrive in the AI era. So if you want to try, what are some of the things that you need to do? Then the future of data analytics. You also talk about the future of data analytics in Ghana. Then we conclude on the final reflection of what you've done so far. So why most importantly, why data analysts must learn AI, most especially prompt engineering, because if you don't write a good prompt, your output also becomes garbage insight. All right. So if you ask AI a garbage question, quote unquote, garbage question, your output, the output that's going to deliver to you is also going to be a garbage inside. So you need to know. Then some of our tools that we use like Power BI that has incorporated the Q&A that will just a natural language is going to do whatever you want it from you. Copilot, the chat box, and all those things. It's what we are going to discuss today. So organizations today collect data more than ever before. As part of this webinar session that we are having, you can generate a whole lot of data in terms of gender, in terms of age, in terms of field of work. So data is being produced every second, every time. So data has never been a problem. The problem has been how we can transform this data into insight. And we as data analysts, we also have our limitations, our human analytical limits that we can't execute some of these tasks, especially within a specific time frame. So now AI coming on board is acting as collaborators, working with natural intelligence and also data analysts to enhance our work. So AI is not replacing our work as some people do believe, but AI is coming on board as collaborators. We are going to work hand in hand together to enhance our work. All right. And I think most importantly, the question that we as analysts, we need to be asking is how do analysts remain relevant in the AI era, and not what should we use AI or shouldn't use AI. The question shouldn't be, are we to use AI or are we not to use AI? But rather, how do analysts remain relevant in this era of AI? Because AI has come to stay, whether you like it or not. AI is. So how can we work together with AI? So that should be the major question. Then also in terms of the AI adoption in Ghana here, so Ghana, we have what we call the National AI Strategy, which has been approved by Cabinet, and we are being told it will be launched in the coming week. AI among companies has grown to about 28%. So there's a growth rate that there's a rise in the adoption of AI in Africa. South Africa is doing around 21% of AI adoption. Egypt is also doing well, as well as Kenya and Tanzania and Nigeria. So as I told you, Ghana has launched the natural AI intelligence strategy, which will be launched in the coming weeks, that we are told. When you look at the news portals, it's being reported. the insight for you. On the quiet transformation of data analyst, now many tasks are used to be traditionally performed by data analysts. When you go to organizations, most of the traditional tasks are being performed by data analysts, but now our work is being automated by AI. And previously, data analysts used to do data cleaning, data preparation, doing EDA or exploratory data analysis, basic statistical modeling, report generation, data insight. All these things were what we used to do. And now AI can perform most of these tasks within seconds. Most of these tasks, in terms of data cleaning, data preparations, AI can do all of these within seconds. All right. So this means that we as analysts, we must shift our value beyond just technical execution. And that should be the mindset, that we need to shift our value beyond doing data cleaning. So if you're a data analyst that you used to boast of, I can do data cleaning for you, I can do dashboard for you, I can do interactive this thing for you, we need to shift our focus from that and ensure that we can add value to our services. If not, AI will replace you. And that's the reality on the ground. So AI can do all these things. It can do all these things. The EDA, as I said, can do dashboard development for you and everything within seconds. But what can AI not do? AI also has its interpretation, how you can communicate it. They still remain human, because AI cannot communicate it better than human. All right. These are some of the limitations of AI, and we will explore more as we move along. So now the future of data analysis depends on how we can strategically combine human reasoning with machine intelligence. All right. So how, as I said, how can we be collaborators? How can we work together? That should be the main focus. In terms of real applications, AI applications emerging in Ghana, when you look at artificial intelligence, now AI is able to generate a synthetic form of data set for you. You want to do some form of sales analysis, you want to do some form of disease control, or you want to do some form of sales. All right, you don't have the data. You want to do some form of forecast and prediction. You don't have the data. AI can generate, similar set of data set for you in the form of being synthetic, not, original, for you to do any form of analysis that you want to do with. And these are very good, because in Ghana here, one of our major constraints is getting access to data. When you want data from GRA, you want data from Ghana Statistical Service, it's very difficult to get all this data. And it takes a longer time, the processes that you need to follow to even acquire them. But now AI can even generate similar form of such data for you, being in a form of synthetic, so that you can actually work with it. So when you get that original data, because you have the synthetic form of it, that you've analyzed it to do whatever you want to do with, then it becomes so easier for you. All right. So now with that, we as data analysts, we are able to test our models without exposing sensitive data. So if I work in finance or I work in a bank and I want to do some form of model testing, I can use synthetic data to do that without exposing the sensitive data of our customers or our clients. All right, so AI is able to do all these things for you. It's also able to stimulate scenarios. So if you want certain form of scenarios, what ifs scenarios, AI is able to do all these things for you. Then, in terms of AI in Ghana here, what people or organizations are using AI in the agri sector, agri sector, we need the agri sector to the farmers to feed us. So AI needs to be incorporated in the operations of the agri. And Farmer Line is doing great things in the agri sector, that they give farmers recommendation on planting times, in terms of fertilizer applications and pest management. And all these things are being done with the form of, or with the help of artificial intelligence. They are now able to predict weather patterns, that it's going to rain or it's not going to rain, and the timing that farmers need to prepare their lands and also start their planting. So these are organizations, for instance, Farmer Line, that they are using artificial intelligence to enhance their work or their operations. Then in the health sector, M-Pharma, Mino Health, Riviaco are all using artificial intelligence to help in healthcare delivery. So in terms of disease detection, medical imaging analysis, health data analysis, all those things, or health data analytics, all these things, these organizations are using artificial intelligence to enhance their work. And they are able to assess and analyze the data in real time without much delays that it used to take weeks and months to get the insights. Now, with the help of artificial intelligence, they're able to get the insight real time and make decisions. On finance, in the financial sector, Aptel is doing well using AI for payment analytics, customer behavior analysis, and automated service systems. So Aptel is doing that. AI can also help you, detect fraud, customer behavior analytics. So now with the help of AI, the financial institutions or the fintech are now able to know that this customer, when we loan or we give a loan to this particular person, they will not be able to pay on time, or they will actually not pay. All those things are being done with the help of AI, credit scoring and risk assessment. So if now they want to do probability impact, the risk, its impact as well as its probability, they are able to use AI to help them in their activities. But I'm yet to come across someone telling me, or someone saying that he needed a loan and he asked AI to help him in that, and AI delivered that. I'm yet to come across that. Maybe that's also one of the limitations of AI. Maybe you can also try to see that you need a loan. AI, can you help me to get 500,000 to start a business? If AI can help you. So all these things are some of the things that AI cannot help you do. Then in marketing and e-commerce, AI tools are being used to analyze customer behavior, predict purchasing pattern. So we have what we call the association rule. AI is able to help detect that when this person buys bread, they will buy butter, or when this person buys a phone, they will buy a phone case. All these things, AI is helping us to detect that and also predict customer preference, what they actually prefer, what they want to buy. And Jumia is doing well in that, and it's one of the biggest online marketplaces that they use artificial intelligence to do that. So sometimes you even have a conversation with someone that this is what you intend to buy. The moment you go online, you see your timeline and your news feed popping up with the thing that you were discussing. So marketing analytics, in terms of AI is helping to analyze customer behavior, their preferences and other things, and recommend to them. The hidden risk analysts rarely discuss. So what are some of the risks that we rarely discuss? As I said, risks are in the form of probability impact. All right, the probability of it happening and what should be the impact. What's the impact when the risk happen? Okay, so one of the most dangerous risks of AI in analytics is automation bias. And automation bias is something that we need to be mindful of, because AI can, produce an answer that look absolutely perfect, convincing, but it's wrong. AI can deceive you, and AI deceives all the time. All right. They can produce an answer which they are confidently, sure, that convincing enough that is a good answer, but in actual sense, it's a wrong answer. So that's the form of false confidence in terms of AI, the risk. So AI increased the speed of wrong decisions. So a lot of wrong decisions have been made using AI. So we need to be mindful. All right. So you as a data analyst, you need to scrutinize the insight that it gives to you, the output that it gives to you. Don't just assume that because it's coming from AI, it's accurate. No, it can mislead you. So you need to be careful of the analysis or the insight that comes from artificial intelligence, especially when you are using it to make decisions. All right. So don't just be trusting AI dashboard blindly. Don't just assume that because it's coming from AI is the truth. Some people even ignore contradictory data evidence when AI is saying have other forms of evidence to even contradict it. People still go with AI because they think that AI is the best. AI gives accurate information. No, don't just be trusting it. And imagine you being a data analyst, putting all your trust and your hopes in AI, and you go and execute a project or a contract for a client, and you later find out that the insight that AI generated for you are wrong information. Okay, just imagine how it will be like. So we need to scrutinize the output of AI, the insights that it gives to us. You don't assume that it's solely the best and nothing can counter it. Another emerging risk is data governance. All right, so AI systems rely heavily on historical data. And if the data contains biases, missing content, inaccurate record structure, inequalities, AI can simply amplify all these problems. So if the data has some form of biases, it's not accurate, missing values or missing records, it's going to mislead you. So we need to be mindful of the data governance aspect of it in terms of the fragmented databases. Okay, ensure that the input that you give to data, you give to AI, the records, the form of analysis that you are giving to AI is actually the best or is in good shape. If not, it's going to work on it because AI rely heavily on historical data. Then if your data is inconsistent, as I said, if they are having missing values, inaccurate records, it's going to mislead you in that. On the ethical use of data analytics, there's this called the bias in AI models. So AI is always biased, and AI models, as I said, learns from historical data. So if it contains any form of biases, AI will also replicate that or amplify all those biases. And there's a practical example that happened at Amazon. So Amazon tried to use AI to do their experimental hiring. So they were using AI as their to experiment their hiring, and they realized that the artificial intelligence or the AI started penalizing resumes that contain the word women or women. The artificial intelligence started penalizing resumes or CVs that contain the word women. And it was because the system had learned from historical hiring patterns that were male dominated. So the system was biased towards male and it was male dominated. So any CV or any resume that was being received and it contained the word woman, it just flag it off because it's learning from historical data. So these are some of the biases. So you need to be careful with the kind of feed that you give to AI because it leans towards that and it becomes biased. So all these things are some of the things that we need to know. And I think another practical example has to do with Tesla when they decided to autopilot their driving using the assistance of AI. So they realized that there were multiple cases of failed or accident because the AI failed to detect pedestrians and vehicles, leading to accidents and increased number of damages to their various cars because what they fed the artificial intelligence became new when it was being tested on the road. So all these biases are some of the things that you need to consider when you are using artificial intelligence. And also, most importantly, you need to be careful with the use of personal or sensitive data. So depending on where you work, if you work in the financial institution, wherever you work, if you have sensitive data, because these artificial intelligence are learning tools, they are still learning. If you feed them with your sensitive information, it becomes a problem because you are just exposing yourself. Okay, so you need to be careful with the kind of information that you upload onto the AI. Don't just be, because you need AI to draft this report for you, you need AI to do this analysis for you, then you just upload the whole document. You can even start with synthetic form of it so that AI can just generate a similar kind of data one for your analysis instead of uploading your personal or sensitive information into AI. Okay. Then what are some of the skills gap that analysts must close? Although AI is there, but there are some form of skills gap that we need to understand and we need to know, especially how to use machine learning. So you need to know machine learning literacy in this era of AI, data engineering knowledge, AI governance understanding. So what are some of the governance, the frameworks surrounding artificial intelligence? Then the ethical use or the ethical awareness of AI. You also need to understand some form of technical tools to help you, work in the era of AI, like Excel, SQL, which is the structured query language for database management, and the ETL, the extract, transform, and the load workflows. Python or R programming for data analysis and modeling, Power BI and Tableau for data visualization. You need to know all these things. Although AI can do all these things, but as I said, you also need the form of human power or human interpretation to help you analyze and interpret complex models using these artificial intelligence. And most importantly, you as a data analyst or we as a data analyst, we also need to know storytelling. How are we communicating our insights to our stakeholders or to our audience? All right. So for instance, when there's a drop of, let's say when there's a 15% drop in production, you are working as a data analyst and per your analysis, the insight is telling you that there's a 15% drop in production. Instead of just going straight away and telling your stakeholders or your management that there's a 15% drop in production, imagine you saying that, or maybe if you are working in the farm and there's a drop, you are working with farmers or you are working with the farming data and there's a drop in production of 15%. Imagine you telling your stakeholders or your management that maize production in Ashanti region has dropped by 15% this season. All right. Then if the farmers don't adopt, so you are actually recommending what they need to do. If the farmers don't adopt improved planting techniques and pest management, food prices could rise. So you are telling them the implication, there's a drop in 15%. And this is your recommended solution, that they need to adopt improved planting techniques and pest management. If they don't do that, food prices are going to increase. Local markets may face shortages and thousands of families' income could be affected. So you put it in a story that this is the insight. Then from the insight, this is what you are recommending. And if they don't do that, this is the challenge that they are going to face. So in terms of data analysis, we have what you call the descriptive, the prescriptive, the predictive, all these things. All right, so you need to put it in the form of storytelling. The implications, if they don't attend to this challenge, what are some of the possible things that could happen? So you put it in the form of storytelling. You don't just communicate numbers to your stakeholders. So it's a skill that we need to learn as a data analyst, most especially in this era of data, in this era of artificial intelligence. Then analysts who will thrive in this AI era. Okay, so who are the analysts who are likely to thrive in this AI era? They are analysts that are able to combine analytical thinking and domain expertise. So in terms, if you find yourself in finance or you find yourself in marketing, what are some of the analytical thinking that you can combine with it to enhance your work? Analysts who are able to interpret complex models output. So AI is going to give the models all right to you. It's going to write the queries all right for you, but you need to interpret it. So for instance, if you ask AI to select everything from a database using a SQL, all right, and it tells you select asterisk from this, then the database, all right. If you are novice, you are not a data analyst, you are a non-technical person. How do you even interpret that this is what the select means, this is what the asterisk means? All right, so you need some form of data analysis skills. You need to learn data analytics in order to interpret all these things. You don't just ask AI to write queries for you when you don't even understand what the queries means. All right, and you also need to communicate insight clearly. As I said, these days we are doing storytelling. All right, so how do you communicate? What are some of the visuals that you need to use? What are some of the tools that you need to use for specific analysis? All these things are things that you need to know as a data analyst. Then you need to guide strategic decision making. You as a data analyst coming on board to help guide in making decisions, all right, accurate forms of decision making. So you need to be strategic. Let the data do the work for you. Let the data do the analysis for you. Then you, from the insight, you use the insight to inform, all right, you advise your stakeholders in making the right decision. So you need to guide them. So analysts who will thrive in this era are people who will guide strategic decision making, because AI is not going to make decisions for your management. At the end of the day, you as the data analyst, you are going to guide in the decision making. So you need to know how to guide in strategic decision making, and it's just a responsible use of AI system. So for instance, you work in sales and there's a drop in your beverage production in the last quarter. How do you communicate that? How do you share this insight? You need to share it in a form of storytelling that your analyst, that your audience or your stakeholders will be able to, assimilate it better, work with it better, and try to understand what you mean by the insight from the data analysis. Now, on the future of data analyst. So what does the future hold for us as a data analyst? Artificial intelligence will definitely not eliminate data analysts. So sometimes when you hear people sharing stories, or you hear people saying that our work as data analysts will be replaced, or we are going to be eliminated by artificial intelligence, it's not true. It can never happen. All right. But what we need to know, or what are some of the things that we need to do to survive in this era of artificial intelligence? We need to be interpreters of AI generated insight. So the AI is going to do the analysis for you, it's going to generate the insight for you, but you should be able to interpret it better. You should be able to communicate it well to the better understanding of your audience. All right, designers of analytical system. You are going to design, you are going to, create systems that the AI is going to work with. AI cannot create systems on their own. So if you don't create the systems well, if you don't do the right thing, AI will mislead you. All right, and as I said, you need to know things like prompt engineering. What are some of the right prompts that you need to do? Because AI will execute based on the prompt that you give it to it. But when you write a very good prompt based on the prompt that the AI is going to, execute or give you the insights from that. You also need to be guardians of data ethics, and it's very important. As a data analyst, you need to know data ethics and data privacy. What are some of the things that you need to know? What are some of the things that you don't have to do? The misinformation forms of it. All these things are things that we need to be guardians of. We need to correct them from the system so that we do the right thing, the ethics, the privacy. You don't just go and collect people's personal data without having, without having being assigned or having accreditation to do that. You don't just take people's personal information, private information, because you believe you're a data analyst. No, you need to be guided. You need to protect the data ethics and the privacies of it. We also need to be advisors for strategic decision making. As I said, that role will definitely be ours because AI cannot advise. They can only give inputs, insight from the data that we have provided to the AI. But we need to be advisors. We are going to guide the strategic decision making that will be done by our managers. All right. So the analyst role will shift from data processing to decision intelligence. So if you're a data analyst and all what you do is you design dashboard, you create dashboard, AI will definitely replace your work because AI can just do that. You can just write a simple natural language in Power BI that create a bar chart for me using this information, and AI will do that for you. So if you just sit there and be creating dashboard, then your work is at stake. Then the future of data analytics in Ghana. So what is the future? What are some of the areas that we need to look at? The emerging areas and the emerging spaces of the environment that we need to capitalize on. We need to, target most. They are the fintech. And the fintech is an emerging area that they use artificial intelligence a lot. So if you are interested to go into data analytics using artificial intelligence, these are some of the areas that you need to target, which is the fintech, the agri-tech, the health analytics, because the health sector, they need to, make quick decisions. They need to provide healthcare assistance using artificial intelligence. Then government data systems, which is quite, disorganized. You coming on board as a data analyst with the help of artificial intelligence, you'll be able to organize the data for them. You'll be able to advise them better on what to do and what not to do using the data insights. Then the digital commerce, in terms of the market e-commerce and other spaces, these are the areas that we need to target. We need to target because they are emerging areas and people are making huge sum of money from these areas. Then on the final reflection, before I bring my presentation to an end, the most important takeaway that I want to share with you guys is that the future of data analytics is not about tools. We need to take note of that. The future of data analytics is not just about tools, knowing the tools, because AI can do all these things for us. It's about the thinking, the mindset, as people will say, is agile, right? The mind that you have is not just about learning tools, but the thinking, the reflections, the agility of it is the most important thing that we need to know. And also disregard any form of comment that says that AI is going to replace we data analysts. No, it can never be true. But what AI can do is that analysts who don't use AI will be replaced by analysts who don't use AI will be replaced by data analysts who use AI. All right, so AI is not going to replace our work. It's not going to eliminate us. It's not going to do what we are doing. But analysts who use AI will rather replace us. That we need to be careful of. All right, so what I would say is that don't be scared at all with the AI, evolution of AI. Don't be scared at all. What you need to do is to enroll in AI courses. You need to enhance your skills. You need to build your capacity, and you are good to go. You will survive. So don't be scared at all. Those who are scared of AI coming to replace our work, don't be scared at all. And as I said, you are not going to lose your job to an artificial intelligence, but you are going to lose your job to someone who uses AI. So this brings me to the end of the presentation. And if there's any question, I'll answer them together with Miriam. So Miriam, thank you very much. And guys,